Hey there, I'm here for Pose. I'm late, but we have had power outages and such which, so it is what it is. Anyway, Lulu is walking, and she's absolutely gorgeous. She does this reveal with her dress, and her dress then turns into this cat suit ensemble thing. It was legendary. I loved it. Um, I don't think she won the category though, or did she? I don't remember. I don't care. I was just enamored by her beauty. Um, we're still trying to figure out where Electra's getting coin, because she's got new furs and new this and new that, and it's just like, girl, where's she getting this? Where's she getting this money from? Where is? Then we find out that Miss Electra is a dominatrix. She's in there literally beating white men for money. I said, goals, go wells. That's the perfect job for Electra. She's bullying people and getting paid for it. Like that's her life. That is her life. There's no more perfect job for Electra Abundance, Evangelista Ferocity, than bullying folks. It's perfect. And she even said, like, this job is perfect. Um, Angel drags her mother, Blanca. And I understand that this is like for TV, but they keep saying like Blanca is, you're not gonna get that storefront if you get clocked. I'm like, she's not really clockable. Like, she has a long neck, but I wouldn't attribute a long neck specifically to a man. I was gonna be real shady. I'm not gonna do it. I was about to say not towards Blanca, but towards somebody. I was gonna say something shady boots. Um, but yeah, it's like she doesn't really look. I wouldn't clock her just on just seeing her for a brief moment walking down the street. I wouldn't be like, I would. Whatever, girl, whatever. Anyway, Angel tells her that she needs to upgrade her fashions. I don't like this little peek of her. You can see a portion of my picture in the background. I didn't really care for that. So Angel is telling her she needs to upgrade her fashion, telling her fashion sense ain't what it needs to be. And I'm like, I thought that little shirt she had on and them jeans was cute. Maybe my fashion ain't up to par. Um, but she goes on down to meet with Patty Lupone, who is the landlord, or Ms., because she's recently divorced, Ms. Norman. And Ms. Norman asks her, are you PR? Are you Puerto Rican? Blanca says, no, I'm American. I was like, what was Puerto Rico not an American territory in 1990? I don't know. And then Ms. Norman says, no, what is your lineage, your heritage? Where are you from? She says, I'm Dominican. And she's like, oh, I've had great luck with Dominicans. I usually don't rent out to people of color, but I've had great luck with Dominicans. And then she talks about gentrification and how they're going to buy up all the bad neighborhoods. You know what gentrification is, girl. I don't have to explain it to you. But if you don't, they buy up all the bad neighborhoods, meaning the black neighborhoods, put a bunch of white people in it, make it too expensive for the black people to live there. And where do the black people go? Where are they supposed to go? When I found out Harlem had Whole Foods, I was disgusted. Disgusted. Harlem is not supposed to have a Whole Foods. It's not. Anyway, she gives Blanca the storefront and accepts cash, does not have a contract, and says, we're just going to shake on it. And I'm like, me and my mama both was like, where's your contract, Blanca? Where's the contract? In the meantime, Ricky is coming home. Ricky, if you didn't watch season 1, which I don't know why you watching season 2 or why you watching my reviews. If you ain't watched the show is good. But Ricky is Damon's boyfriend. And he was on tour with Albie Shore. I was trying to remember, who was he on tour? It was Albie Shore. And he's coming home. Now, mind you, the show went off the season 1 went off in 1988. It's 1990. And they still going strong. I'm like, I don't know. But Ricky comes home and Damon is in this little tent hut. I don't know, girl. He done put some curtains and sheets all around his bed and they finna get it in. And just as they're getting ready to get into it, Blanca was in there and is like, I'm so sorry, but we have a mandatory family meeting. And, Damon all hot and heavy is like, can it wait? I got my man. Blanca's like, no, it cannot, no, because Derek died. I said, oh, Lord, not Derek. I don't know who Derek is, but may he rest. May he rest. So everybody is expected to show up to the funeral, which is why we had this family meeting, this mandatory family meeting to let everybody know, hey girls, Derek is dead and we're going to the funeral. For some reason, we get to the funeral and the only children there are Angel and Poppy. The parents, Pray Tell and Blanca, are also there, but the only children, now mind you, in House of Evangelista, there's Angel, Poppy, Ricky when he's not on tour, Damon, I always want to say Damon, and then the two voguing boys. One of them's name is Cubby in real life, and I don't remember the other one. So there are like 6 kids, only 2 of them showed up. Blanca wasn't feeling that. So at the funeral, she's trying to figure out where the boys are. In the meantime, dang, I can't remember her name for the life of me, Lord, right now. Bernhardt, Sandra Bernhardt. It escaped me. Anyway, she's at the funeral, and she pulls Blanca to the side, and is trying to figure out why you ain't taking your medicine. What's going on? You need to be taking this medicine. And Blanca's like, well, I don't want the side effects. I don't want to, I don't want to suffer. Now, one of y'all told me last week that the side effects of AZT were often worse than the actual disease. I really, truly did not know. So thank y'all for educating me on that. And I understand Blanca's concern, but girl, we got to find a way. In the words of Rent, got to find a way to jump over the moon. We got to find a way for you to live, because if Blanca dies, I'm shooting everybody. Everybody got to go. Pew, pew, everybody gonna die. Pew, pew, everybody gonna die tonight. Like, I'm sorry. Anyway, girl, we find out later, after Derek's funeral, may he rest, that the boys weren't at the funeral because they were down in the city at a restaurant, at brunch. You know how the gays look, brunch. At the brunch, honey, voguing. And they tell the story of how they were, we were at brunch, and of course we were being ignored as usual, but then I just started voguing. This is Damon. I just started voguing, and everyone started paying attention. And Ricky says, we stepped in and we started voguing with him all impromptu, and the crowds gathered. I'm like, girl, don't nobody care about it. I really, honestly, as adorable as these children are, I could care less about each of them. Damon is the most interesting of the boys, but Ricky and the Vogue twins, I don't need. They don't further the story. They don't interest me. They're just adorable. It's like, oh, look at them voguing. How cute. That's it. That's all I have. But Damon is talking about, you were right, mother. That, Vogue is going to take over the world. Ballroom culture is going to be blah, blah, blah. And Blanca's like, well, ballroom culture is not a trend. And I'm like, but you was the one talking about how Madonna finna take y'all global. I guess, Blanca. I didn't understand, but whatever. And then he says, who's it? Blanca says, girl, like, I got lost in my thought. Blanca says, that, what did she say, girl? Like, child, when I say my mind, I've been depressed lately, and I'm disconnected, honey, from everything. What did Blanca say? Something about the funeral. Oh, she says it's very disrespectful. Ooh, girl, it was a long journey getting there. She says it was so disrespectful for y'all not to show up to Derek's funeral. Show him some respect, as Kaya will say in the future, because this is set in 1990. You got to R-E-S-P-E, respect me, R-E-S-P-E, respect me, spec me. Like, anywho, in the meantime, child, we go over to the house of Ferocity, and Ferocity has both Elektra and Aphrodite, and I'm like, girl, screw all the other houses. Y'all are gonna win face for as long as Elektra's in the house. Aphrodite and Elektra, face, but they ain't got no money. And I'm trying to figure out, you got all these grown women in this house. It is a house full of grown women, and y'all can't afford nothing but popcorn and Slim Fast. I never. Jiggly Caliente, I don't remember what her new name is, but she was going by Jiggly on RuPaul's Drag Race. She has Blanca some hot sauce for her popcorn, and Blanca's like, girl, I cannot. She says, I need more space. I need more closet space. The little closet you gave me is only big enough for hats and shoes. I have furs and other amenities. Candy says, you're not talking to Blanca. I don't know where you think you at. There's only one other closet in the house, and it has me and Lulu's things. And if you're not willing to share your things, you can't share the closet. Blanca's like, not Blanca. Have I been saying Blanca? I mean Elektra. Girl. help me. Somebody help me. She's like, I'm not sharing a closet or my things with y'all. And she gets up and says, basically she decides that she's going to quit the house, and, she's leaving, and, I don't have to stay with you, blah, 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 and, reads them. And then she says, I'll send for my things. After she snatches the tablecloth off the table. I said, Electra hates tables. Maybe when she was a child, she got beat with a table, but she hates, she has an art against tables. She says, I'll send for my things. And then she walks out, and I'm like, who gonna come pick them up? You ain't got nobody. Who coming to get your things? And by the time you come back to get your things, you don't think Candy and Lulu have pawned your furs and clothes and things so they could pay the rent for the House of Ferocity? Because as soon as Electra would have stepped out of my home, talking about she quit the house, I'd have took her furs, her hats, her shoes, her drawers. I'd have took them mugs. And I would have went on down to the pawn shop and said, hey, girls, how much can you give me for this? Anyway, Electra has a revelation about her surgery. I think Candy said something about, ever since you had your surgery, you've been this, that, and the other. And Electra's like, this is where it all started, with my surgery. Mr. Ford left me, and it's been downhill ever since. Well, no more. And I'm like, girl, okay. Mr. Ford told you if you had that surgery, you cut off. So what you should have done, Miss Electra, I understand that the surgery was a necessity. I do understand that. But what you should have did was been saving up Mr. Ford's money that he was giving you. So when you did have the surgery, you would have somewhere to fall. But you had the surgery and didn't have nowhere to fall, didn't have no money, was down on your luck, back against the wind, trying to make it, no way to win. Real Tyler Perry. It was as if Tyler Perry wrote your life story. Moving on, we're back at the ball, and there's a Romeo and Juliet scene that Angel and Poppy, I was going to say Angel and Angel, because Poppy's real name in real life is Angel. So I was about to say Angel and Angel, but Angel and Poppy are giving, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo, deny thy father, and refuse thy name, if thou shalt. Anyway, they didn't go that far into it, girl. She just gave Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo, and then Poppy drank, the potion, the poison, and he died, and then child Angel took a sip and she started convulsing, and I was like, girl, all of this. It was really cute. And then Ferocity did Cinderella. I guess the category was like fairy tales or storybook or something like that, and they did Cinderella. Ferocity did, and Aphrodite gave us fairy godmother. They had glitter raining, confetti raining from the ceiling, and she had a wand, and she was giving, I'm your fairy godmother, to was it Lulu that was on the floor scrubbing the floors? Anywho, and she spun, I think it was Lulu. Anyway, I didn't write it down, but she spun and spun and spun and came out of the dress. We loved a reveal. We did love a reveal. And, the dress transformed into the Cinderella dress, and, that was really cute. I love that. In the middle of that performance, the lights go out. Pray Tell says, who forgot to pay the electric bill? I was like, yeah, who did? And the spotlight shines, and I'm like, who did Electra pay to sabotage the performances? Who's running? In the words of Beyonce, lights, somebody's getting fired. Hey, like somebody's getting fired. Who's running the lights? The spotlight hits Electra just right. She saunters into the building. I was like, oh, that is how you make an entrance. That is how you make an entrance. Oh, she stormed. She walked in. She had the girls walking behind her. I forgot to mention that she was collecting girls for her house. And it's a white girl, a pair of Vogan twins of her own, and another young lady who was deemed the triple threat. I guess face, Vogue, and I don't know, maybe body or something. I don't know what the third threat was, but they all walk in. They follow Electra, giving, seamless, just a saunter in, storming the building, entrance. And Blanca is like, excuse me, you cannot just interrupt the category with your foolishness. That's just not how it works. And Pray Tell is like, excuse me, Miss Electra, don't be busting in on the foolishness. Rude. And Electra's like, you should at least let me introduce my house, all the shine I've brought to ballroom throughout the years. And Pray Tell looks at the judges look back at Pray Tell like, he says, that we have convened, conversed. The judges have discussed, and it's no. And Electra's like, whatever, girl. We are the House of Wintour, named after the legendary Anna Wintour. And here we are. And everybody's just like, so, girl. Candy at some point gets that hammer back out of her purse, child, and Electra got a switchblade, and they getting ready to tussle, honey. I'm like, how come Candy always has a hammer, and the person going against her always has something sharp? Candy, you gotta get you something sharp, girl. They're gonna deflate you one day. They're gonna whoop right in the silicone. You gonna, honey, all we gonna hear is as your booty deflates, girl. You better, honey, get you a bow and arrow or something. Anywho, um, security takes, grabs, what's her name, Electra girl, and I don't know if they had Candy as well, but they grab Electra, and she's like, "Get off of me! Get your hands off of me! We are the House of Wintour." This is when she introduces that, they're Wintour, and then she gives the girls a Wintour is coming, and I was like, okay, all right, listen. The thing we love the most about Pose is that it is so well transformed into the 80s and early 90s. The music, the settings, the themes, the fashion, everything is 80s. I really did not appreciate bringing that 2000 teens reference into, what was that, 2000 and like 11, 12? Winter is coming from Game of Thrones. I didn't like that reference being thrown in there because nobody in the 90s would have said that. I didn't care for it. I'm gonna let it slide, but I didn't like it. Let's see. At some point, Cubby and Calabasas, girl, I don't know, the Vogan twins that were in Abundance and then moved over to, I think they might have moved over to Ferocity, and then they moved over to Evangelista. They jump on over to Wintour. And who's that out there talking loud? I'm disinterested. Somebody out there talking loud. They jump over to Wintour, and so the House of Evangelista is down 2 members. In the meantime, Ricky's bunkmate is talking to Damon. They're at the bar, and he's giving, hey, come here often, blah, blah, blah. And then he spills that, I was on Ricky's tour, on tour with Ricky, and we slept together, and I had your man, I got your boyfriend, oh, I could take your man, I could put it on him just like you want. I'm like, I got your man. A little Jackie O. Just a taste of Jackie O. And Damon is like, did you sleep with him, Ricky? And Ricky's like, and the boy's name is Christopher. Chris is like, yeah, you did. Yeah, we slept together. And Damon is like, I can't believe you. And he storms off. And I'm just like, I could care less. I really, truly could. It's just the melodrama of their relationship. Their entire relationship has been, ooh, don't date him. He's a bad guy. Oh, he's not as bad as I think he is. Ooh, do you have AIDS? I don't know if I have AIDS. I've never been tested. Let's go get tested together, all of us. Then, we found out Pray Tell has HIV, and it hurt me. Can we get an update, by the way, on Pray Tell's status? We know Blanca has been upgraded to AIDS, but can we get an update on Pray Tell? Somebody, anybody, do y'all have information? But the whole Damon and Ricky relationship has just been so melodramatic that I just don't care. Just don't care. So Ms. Norman is taking photographs for a we must have company. Somebody's out there doing the most. Ms. Norman is taking photographs for, I guess, a magazine cover or something. She's got her dog's Cash and Credit. And she's doing an interview being all bourgeois. And her son Jonas comes in a jogger. In one of those Sheree Whitfield, She by Sheree, winter, what is it, summer, September, spring, summer joggers. And he basically spills that, or not spills, but lies and says, if we being honest, that Blanca is a man. Because Blanca's not a man. Blanca's a woman. But he says, that's a man. And Ms. Norman is like, you are out of your mind. And Jonas is like, no, that's a man. And she's like, well, if he's a man, then he needs to be out of my building, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ugh. So they try to put Blanca out. Jonas goes down, gives Blanca the money back, and says, you got to get out of this building. While she's painting and preparing for her opening, for, her grand opening, Jonas was like, not here. And I didn't care for it. Ms. Norman then goes down. Blanca's still opening up her shop, by the way. And Miss Norman goes down there and says, "You deceived me. I can work with thieves and robbers, but I cannot work with, the likes of you." And I'm just like, girl, she's just trying to open a nail salon. You're doing too much. And Blanca's like, "Well, listen, I went on down to the law. I went to some lawyers, honey, and they said that I have squatters' rights. You can't put me out. We didn't have a contract, and I paid you first and last months." I was like, "But didn't Jonas give you back the money?" Listen, don't let me get to lying. He gave her an envelope. Looked like it had money in it to me. But she says, "I have squatters' rights. You can't put me out." And Ms. Norman says that I have whole God, what's the word? Law offices, on retainer, and we will blah 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 sue and ruin your life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Blanca's like, "Okay, well, call them, girl, because I'll be here." And I'm like, "Okay, act up, fight back, fight white ladies." Not in the meantime, but later that evening, they're having dinner. It's Blanca and her children, Angel, Poppy, Damon, and is that it? That might have been it. Was anybody else? It don't matter. But they're at the table, and Blanca's like, "All right, I was very disappointed to find that you and Ricky were not using condoms. This is because I forgot to mention that Damon and Ricky took their fight home, and they argued and argued and argued, and then Damon broke up with Ricky." And I'm like, now this is after they went and got tested. Ricky found out he does not have the package. They did not say whether or not Damon had the package, and I found that very suspicious. Because Ricky was all, I don't have it," and Damon was just sitting there looking real like he might got it. And I'm like, "Did you cheat, Damon? Did you cheat? What happened? Come sit next to Auntie and let's talk about it." But Blanca's at the table, and she says, "Well, we're going to have a class right now." She pulls out a cucumber and a condom on how to properly wear condoms, and the boys are joking and laughing. And Angela's like, "Y'all need to shut up and listen." Like, she snaps, and they shut up and listen. And Blanca then tells, her story about how when she first came out, or I don't know, back in '83, honey, she was on the scene, and she wanted to find love anywhere, so she used her body to try to find love, and she was just sleeping with any and everybody. And the man she was sleeping with in that, they had a flashback, and he was in the bar. He was cute. He was real cute. I was like, okay, work. But they had her back in that little shake and go wig, child. That little shake and go. Anywho, and she says that she didn't know any better, basically, and she just did what a lot of people did, and now she got the package. She got the AIDS. And little Poppy, oof, I was upset. I was crying. He got to crying and saying, "You took care of me when wouldn't nobody else take care of me, and now I'm gonna take care of you. We're all gonna take care of you." And I'm like, oh, the emotion, I'm misty-eyed, misty. But I think that really kind of shook a little bit of sense into the boys. I think it did. I guess so Ricky was still there. And then this is when they go get tested. Has anybody seen Helena St. Rogers, the dance instructor, teacher lady? Anybody? Because I loved her. Bring her back. So we're at the Eros ball, the goddess of, love. Blanca looked fantastic. She gets walked in, very much like Billy Porter did at the Met Gala, on two tall nigga shoulders. They have her in a chair, and she's, coming in, and they place her gently on the ground, and she comes out and she gives the face, and then Electra, like Candy comes out, I think, too, and she has like these foam feathers, and Pray Tell is like, "Someone needs to take Miss Candy back to kindergarten and teach her the difference between feathers and foam." And I'm like, ooh, ooh, they get Candy every time. But then, honey, House of Wintour comes in, and they have a clam. A clam! A huge, I was going to say a life size. That clam is well bigger than a real clam. A huge, gigantic clam. And the House of Wintour mother, Electra Wintour, it doesn't have as much of a ring as Electra Abundance, but whatever. She comes out of the clam, and she's giving, wings and fever. And I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing come out of a clam and fly. Not ever. But Electra made it look cute. And, Candy's like, "Well, those aren't feathers either." And Pray Tell is like, "But they're better than what you had." I'm like, dang it, Candy, you can't catch a break. And then Pray Tell calls out to Electra and says, Mother of the Year may be a little elusive this year, but there is one title that, no one else can claim, and that is Businesswoman of the Year. She is an entrepreneur, and everybody's clapping, and, she stands up, and because she was dejected. She felt dejected. She, did not get her tens. I think she got a bunch of sevens and eights. And Electra did get tens across the board. And she, it's a competition. You want to win. But she feels better after she, gets her applause for Businesswoman of the Year and, all of that. It felt really good. Damon and Ricky break up. I couldn't care less. I had more feelings towards Angel and Stan last season than I do Damon and Ricky, but whatever. Sandra Blanhard pops into Blanca's home. And Blanca says she's going to start taking the AZT, so I'm worried about if that's going to make her sicker or what. We'll find out later in the season, I guess. But in the meantime, Anita Baker. Ain't there something I can give you in exchange for everything you give to me? I'm like, are they really playing my favorite Anita Baker song? Giving you the best that I got, honey. I'm like, I can't believe. Like, I'm singing down. Everybody's got opinions. Listen, I love that song. I love Giving You the Best That I Got. That is my absolute favorite Anita Baker song. Oh, my spirit. Now, last season they got me when they played Private Dancer. All the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. That's my favorite Tina Turner song. Like, it's like they look into my soul and say, what's Kayla gonna live for? And then they play it. They play it. Because I didn't pay attention literally to anything else while they were playing Giving You the Best That I've Got. I don't know what was going on during that little montage. I don't know, because I was singing down. I did hear that Ricky may be in the House of Wintour. I did hear that. And that's the episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and all the things that YouTube is saying. I'll catch y'all next week for another one.